She was like, okay, I know you want Mark to play the dad. It's not gonna be as simple as go just send this to him and see if he reads. Let's do this the right way. So she showed him Cha-Cha. It was like, hey, if you like this movie, I think you should meet with this director. He's just a good guy, and I represent him and want you to meet him. Yeah. And that happened. So he liked Cha-Cha. He was like, oh yeah, I'll sit down with him. And then Shani was like, don't bring it up. Say, I want to work with you someday. And then when the time's right, we'll say, hey, you know what? Maybe you should read this thing.
I guess she understood that it feels a little weird when you're like meeting with somebody and they're just pushing something on you.
5 minutes into the meeting, I said, I want you to play my dad now.
Filmmaker Magazine presents Back to One with Peter Rinaldi.
Cooper Raiff is an actor. This is his second time on the podcast. The first was episode 128. He sat down with me in New York City to talk about the work.
It's been almost 5 years to the day that we sat down on Zoom during the pandemic.
That doesn't feel like 5 years ago.
5 years. You had just won South by Southwest, I guess, earlier that year, and there was this, and Shithouse was coming out.
Yeah.
But at the end of that interview, I asked you how you were going to keep your voice in this fucking horrific industry.
Yeah.
Do you know what you said?
No, I have no idea.
You said, don't worry, I suck at this. I don't, like, I'm going to meetings because they want to meet the guy that won South by Southwest, but then after 5 minutes, their eyes glaze over. They don't like anything I'm saying. So don't worry. You're basically telling me, don't worry.
Right.
I'm not a player in this game. I'm not going to do this right. So I can't do anything but keep my voice.
Yes. I still feel that way.
But wait. But then you go on to win Sundance with your next film.
Right.
Right? Then I'm imagining, tell me if I'm wrong, that there's other meetings. And then pretty soon people are like, you can't play the game like you don't know how to do this. You just did something else.
Right.
And it's on Apple and you got a deal. And like, now you got to play this.
Right.
Is that what happened?
Well, it's really interesting. I think what I meant was I go into these rooms and I pitch these small ideas and it's like, all right, what if it's a guy who falls in love with this mother and she had her daughter young and the daughter's autistic and there's like kind of this weird thing where his relationship with his mom is kind of similar and people are like, what? And then I say, all right, they met at a bar mitzvah, and they're like, okay, now you're talking. And but that's what I mean is like, I'll always have to keep my voice, and I can play the game in the Trojan horse way with like with Cha-Cha, that's what I did. But with Helen Harper, there was no playing the game other than going out to Mark Ruffalo. Yeah. Like that was the only, I had made two things and I was confident enough to say, hey, I need not a lot of money at all. Like I need half of what you spend on a pilot. Mm-hmm. Like all these TV shows that we're watching, and this is true, Helen Harper as a whole, all 8 episodes cost half of what like the pilot of that like new, it's just the first thing in my mind, the new Ethan Hawke FX show. Like that pilot was twice as much as the full budget of Helen Harper. So I said, can you give me this money? And it is gonna be a sad show. And it is gonna be just about this family. And, but we're gonna have great actors that are recognizable names. And I've proven enough to know that it's gonna be special in a way.
Yeah.
And they were like, all right, here's not a lot of money. It wasn't a lot of money.
But you're skipping something that you talk about in the press release, which is fascinating. You had to lie and pretend like there's offers.
Yes.
Now let's put this in perspective. The guy that won South by Southwest and Sundance has to lie to get someone to read his thing.
Yes.
I knew I had to turn my levels down when I'm talking about independent film. All right, let me get my level down because I'm yelling. But think about this: not to fund it. You couldn't get them to read it.
Yes.
How could that not drive you into a frustration hell where you want to just pull the covers? Because if you can't get people to read it, how could I get anyone to read my masterpiece?
Right.
And I haven't won anything.
Right.
Right.
It is infuriating to send something that you know is worth being
consideration.
Is worth being made, and they won't even start to read it because it's not. Because I mean, I will say it was like 315 pages.
Okay,
that's a lot.
That is a lot.
And but I think the real thing was the first 15 pages were not a lot was going on. And the whole, like you've seen the show, it's like, it's not something that everyone's like, oh, it's a race to see who gets to make this. It doesn't read like that.
Yes.
But if you tell people that, they'll believe it.
Yes.
They like it without fail.
Yes.
And I'm telling my secret. I hope no financier is listening to this, but
But you said it's in the press release.
Yeah, no, but I do because that is what happens. Is you say that people are interested, and all of a sudden everyone's interested.
Yeah.
It just happens that way.
That's right.
And it's every financier and every company is just waiting to get in the back of the cool line.
Yep.
And it's frightening how accurate that is.
Yeah.
It's just waiting to see, like the amount of people. I knew Helen Harper like from day one, and there was not a single day where I was wondering if this wasn't what I thought it was. I always knew it was what I thought it was. Like there was not ever a doubt in my mind. And I've had doubts about the movies that I've made and plenty of times. But Helen Harper, I was like, I know what it is. I know it's gonna affect people. I know these performances are beautiful. And I know it's a family that will offer an audience a similar sense of healing that they experience. I knew that. And it was just a matter of how do I convince these Hollywood people, but how do I use them correctly? Like how do it's just like a forever battle. I try not to think of it as a battle, but like how do I get them on my team?
And it almost feels like it starts over every time.
It starts over every time. Right now, it's like, it's hard to get a movie made right now. And I'm like, and my friends and we're all talking about like the show's coming out next week, and there's like, it's 2 episodes the first week and then an episode each week. And we're like, should we meet with financiers like on week 5? Like we're like game planning, like when is it gonna feel like these people will be like, oh, we definitely should finance this, not because it's a good script or whatever, but just because he's in the middle of the show coming out or something.
Right.
Or Lily's on Jimmy Fallon, so maybe we should meet with financiers that week when Helen Harper's being talked about on Jimmy Fallon. It's like, it's so crazy what the gymnastics of how do I just get people to give me not like, I'm not asking for $20 million. I'm not even asking for 15. Wow. I'm just like, but I am at the point, you said this just a second ago, I am at the point where I'm not even gonna make Cha-Cha anymore. Like I'm not gonna make something where I'm like, there's a bar mitzvah piece to it. Like, I'm not gonna do that anymore. I feel honestly weathered enough to be like, no, I'm gonna make what I want to make. And if no one's gonna give me money, I'll make it for less.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say, oh, if no one's gonna give me money, I'll add this device of it feeling like a bigger movie. I'm not in that.
I think so many people do that, and then they head down this road of compromise.
Well, they head down this road of they don't know what they're making anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
I actually think that once you start heading down that road, all of a sudden, I'm not gonna name any names, but you start, how do I describe it? It's like you start forgetting why you love movies and why you put pen to paper in the first place. The people who are making so many movies too, like I had a moment with myself where I was like, Cha-Cha came too fast. Like, I knew I wanted to make something in this, but it just like, it went too fast. I loved that movie so much. It just went too fast. And with Hal and Harper, I had been working on Hal and Harper before Shithouse. Like, it's 10 years.
I thought so, because I think you might have even mentioned something to me, but it's not on the tape. It might have been after we stopped recording. I think you mentioned this series that you want to do.
Yes.
I remember thinking, bro, you're never going to be able to make that.
Right.
I mean, are you kidding me?
Right.
That sounds amazing. Like, it's just like a dream project.
Yes. So in the story of Hal and Harper is, I got it set up at FX. So it was set up at FX, and I had just made Shithouse. So they were dead set on it being a college show. And in my first meeting with them, they were like, we want you to watch this show called Greek. I was like, surely you're not talking about the ABC Family frat show.
Yes, they are.
And they were. And I had an amazing producer who is like just an amazing woman who was like such a champion for me right after Shithouse. And she's the one who got it set up at FX. I didn't do anything. Like, I didn't like even pitch it to FX. She was just like, this kid has this thing. Trust me, trust him. Let's do it. And then FX kept trying to put it into this thing. They were like, the dad has to go. And I was like, that's to me the whole show. And so the woman was amazing in helping me get it back. And there were no hard feelings. Like, I love FX, but I made it independently. And the best moment was when Mark Ruffalo said, I really want to do this. I really want to play dad. And I wanted to like send it to FX and be like, this is the dad character that you really want to make that.
But we have to talk about this, because I like to think that I am very principled, right? And I like to think that I would be holding on to my baby and not letting people. But I don't think I would be able to walk out of there with it. I think I would have been like, okay, all right, I'll get rid of the dad.
Right.
I'll figure out a way to make this my own. Oh, you want me to watch that show? Okay, all right. I could tweak this. But like you're saying, it was, and suddenly it's not my show anymore. I mean, but I could see myself going down this road.
Cha-Cha was the biggest gift in the world in that way. So I only did that because when I yanked Hal and Harper away with the help of this amazing woman, it was as I was in pre-production for Cha-Cha. So I had the confidence that like, oh, I'm making this. I know that this is going to be its thing, and I'll be able to set this show up somewhere else in the way that I wanted it to be. Like, if I had no other prospects and they were like, it's either this or this, I would have done the same thing. So I'm so lucky that I had Cha-Cha building my self-esteem or something.
And was that Dakota shepherding that?
Dakota's the only reason why any of that happened. Yeah.
And how did you get to her though? How did that happen?
She had just started a company, so she's
looking for things.
She was looking for things, and the first person I met with was Ro Donnelly, who I love her so much, and she it was just a general meeting, and I knew that she was Dakota's producing partner, and I had this like seed of an idea. I didn't have a script or anything, but I was like, what if she played a mom? And I don't know if I at that point did the bar mitzvah pitch, or maybe I did. But then she was like, do you want to meet with Dakota? And I was like, yeah. And then we all three met together and we hit it off. And she was like, all right, just why don't you start writing the script and we'll help you.
Wow.
So we really developed that script together.
And was that a thing where they were really fostering your creativity, or were they heavy-handed?
No, they were a dream to work with.
Wow.
Ro and Dakota both. They were so trusting of what I was wanting to do and trying to do, but also had so many wonderful thoughts and ideas and notes, mainly about the Domino character, who I, of course, didn't know nearly as well as Dakota did right away. And then, yeah, they were great.
Getting back to Helen Harper, so in a similar way, like you once again, almost in a J. Duplass way, have to reach out to Ruffalo. Right?
Well, Ruffalo was great because we have the same agent.
Okay. So
So
things are a little easier now than they were back when you were just sending blindly a thing.
Yeah. But what was crazy
but
is
you're still crossing your fingers and sending something, right?
crossing my fingers and also breaking rules. Like the rule was, do not bring up Helen Harper. Wow. So, and she was, Shani, the agent, was being really smart. She was like, okay, I know you want Mark to play the dad. It's not gonna be as simple as go just send this to him and see if he reads. Let's do this the right way. So she showed him Cha-Cha. It was like, hey, if you like this movie, I think you should meet with this director. He's just a good guy. Yeah. And I represent him and want you to meet him.
Yeah.
And that happened. So he liked Cha-Cha. He was like, oh yeah, I'll sit down with him. And then Shani was like, don't bring it up. Say, I want to work with you someday. And then when the time's right, we'll say, hey, you know what? Maybe you should read this thing.
I guess she understood that it feels a little weird when you're like meeting with somebody and they're just pushing something on you. 5
minutes into the meeting, I said, I want you to play my dad now. So I went with my gut, and I was just like, dude, it's Mark Ruffalo on my computer right now. And he's talking to me, looking into my eyes, and there's no fucking way I'm gonna not bring up Helen Harper. And so I said, dude, like, I'm your biggest fan, and I want you to read this script that I've been writing for 6 years. I am in love with it, and it's gonna be amazing, and I want you to play the dad. And he was like, he was like, I saw in his eyes, like, this is not how one plays this. but I think he also, we're both, Mark is wild, like wild, in the same way that I am. I don't want to say that we're both like, we just like have something that's wild about us. And like Lily does not have this quality. But I didn't know this at the time, but I think we're very kindred spirits. And I think he recognized that. I didn't recognize that in him because I was too like in my own butthole, but I sent it to him, and a week later he was texting me throughout reading it.
Wow.
So he's like that.
Yeah.
He's not playing any sort of game. He's just like, oh my gosh, this needle drop.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, oh shit, he's 140 pages in.
Wow. Yeah.
And then like 200 pages in, he said, this scene crushed me just now. And so, and I'm like,
and you're loving this.
I'm loving it. And I'm like, but he hasn't said yes.
Right.
So I'm like that's when I was trying to like play it cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I love that scene too.
You don't know what do I write here?
Right. And so, and then he said, I don't know if I think he called Shani. He called Shani, said that he wanted to do it. And Shani called me and was like, I guess you brought it up.
That's how she found out.
Yeah, and so she said this is miraculous, and she of course was like, we did it. Of course. And I was like, we did it. And then he months later we were on set together.
Amazing.
Or we were like a month later we were like on a hike together. It's just like
Amazing.
He is a really accessible person in the best way.
Yeah. And how, at this time, did you have the actor who was going to play your sister in mind yet?
Yes, Lily had been attached for a year before Martha.
Oh.
Yeah, so Lily,
Well, tell me how that happened.
when I first decided, I think Helen Harper is going to be a show. I decided, I think Helen Harper is going to be an independently made show. I was like, the first step is going to be finishing the script. The second step is going to be finding Harper. Mm-hmm. And I knew.
Did you have anyone in mind when you were
No, not at all. Like it was that
You
was
don't
the
do that?
that was the scariest thing in the world. Just with this though.
Yeah.
Like I wrote
Other things you do.
I wrote Cha Cha from page 1 to page 120 with Dakota in mind every single step of the way.
Yeah.
With Helen Harper, I did not have anyone. It was like such a soulful way of thinking of things that I did not have. It was so specific yet so faceless. Like just, I knew how they talked and how they felt, but I did not know what they looked like or anything. Except I knew that she was blonde. That was a weird thing that was in the script. Something happened when I looked up, I just looked at a big list of actresses and I saw Lily's face and I didn't know her at all. And this is like, it was it's just one of those things where the universe is happening.
Yeah.
And I started watching interviews of her. And then I watched Hustlers. And then I watched Chemical Hearts. And then I brought it up to my partner, Addison. And I was like, what if Lily Reinhart was Harper? And she was like, that's an amazing idea because I loved her on Riverdale. I'd never seen her on Riverdale, because I honestly was just like, I thought, oh, I shouldn't watch her on Riverdale because Lily wouldn't want me to watch her on Riverdale. But then Addison, who I trust with my heart, was like, she's really good on Riverdale. And I don't think I even watched because I was like, I'm not sure if I believe you. but I after that I cold called her manager and I said, Dara, can I meet with Lily for coffee? And then we got coffee and I'd like told her about the show and I was like, I'll send you the pilot. I didn't say much. Like she remembers the meeting, like she thinks I was like holding things close to my chest, which is not something I normally do, but maybe I was. I sent her the pilot and she like loved it so much. And then I sent her 3 episodes and then she loved it so much. And then she randomly was like, do you want to come to Mount Shasta with me? Which is like in Northern California. It's like a healing place.
I think I heard of this, yeah.
And so when she invited me, I was like, I knew she was Harper. Like it was just, it wasn't on the trip she was Harper, but it was just, there was something about, I just felt it.
The invitation.
And yeah. And so, and that was a year before we started shooting. And that was before we got financing also. So financing was, people wouldn't even read the script knowing Lily was attached. Yeah.
Wow.
So
I just cannot
it's crazy.
believe this.
Yeah. And she was like, that was the other thing about Lily was the thing that caught my heart with Lily was how much depth she has. Like you watch her in an interview and sometimes you can tell sometimes she's on autopilot, but when she's not, it's like, and she's got such a well of so many different things. It's not just like she's melancholy, or it's not just like she's not I saw someone wrote something that I loved. It was like, she's hiding such a deep well of, or she has such a deep well of pain, but she's not morose. And I love that because she's got these eyes that are, her feelings are like a fire that she's just sitting by. She's not jumping in, she's not going outside and getting cold, she's just sitting there, and you watch her
That's
go
such an interesting way to
through
put it. Yeah.
And so, and I like saw that, and I was just like, that is the person who you want to, and I was like almost thinking in terms of Hal, it's the person you want to follow through the dark tunnel.
Yeah.
And you want to watch them discover things about themselves, because then it'll give you permission to do that with you. And I didn't know anything about how fucking amazing she would be in the like finale episode, or what a gift she was going to give like every person who sees the show. But I knew that I knew some version of that.
Yeah.
And it was everything and more. But she just like, and still like, we're really close friends, and every time we hang out, I'm just like, I'm so in love with you. Like and we just like did a press day together yesterday, and I was sitting next to her all day, and I feel like I am very connected to her heart, and I love directing her, because and I mean directing in terms of like giving her permission to like be in charge of this space. And because when she is, it's just miraculous to watch. And there are times when, and she says this all the time, like, because she was on the show Riverdale, like they shot 100 pages a day.
Wow.
They're shooting for 9 months. So of course you go on autopilot.
Yeah.
And
just to survive.
Just to survive.
Yeah.
And it's not like like, I haven't seen Riverdale, so I can't talk about the emotional content given to the characters, but I'm sure you can get away with that some.
Right.
Never did Harper ever. There were times when I could see Lily kind of going on autopilot, and I was like, we can't move on. Like, your performance is too good for me to let us move on right now. Everything that you've done up until this scene, it'd be a disservice to say, all right, guys, we got it. Let's move. And she was frustrated.
Yeah. But thankful in the end, right?
Thankful in the end. Like, it's just like, you got to get in your body here.
Yeah.
And because Harper is that bitch.
Yeah.
And
but it sounds like this is a person who was just looking for a place worthy to let it out, what she's got. Because some places aren't worthy.
That's a perfect way of...
Not to blow smoke up your ass,
right.
But I think this this was a worthy thing.
I think you could change the word to safe.
Yes.
Yes. Like, I think... And when people feel seen, they feel safe.
Yes.
Like, if you see... Even with, like, every actor, if they are... You see their eyes light up when you point out, I saw that thing you did right here.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, okay.
Yes.
So that did come through.
Yes.
And sometimes they're not trusting of like the camera, but Lily has a relationship with the camera that like is beyond words. And letting her know that what was happening was happening. It just always, you could see it igniting the fire, and she doesn't ever let it go. She's so smart in that she what I was saying about the fire, she knows that jumping in the fire is never the right answer. She knows that sitting right here is enough. And just reassuring her of that was just so powerful.
Yeah. So when you finally get around to actually shooting this with such a small budget, knowing that you have all these great people, but you have to act in this, and it's not easy stuff for yourself. So have you ever had to deal with something this in terms of tight, in terms of a schedule, and it sounds like it's insane because you're shooting like episode 1 and episode
Yes.
the last episode on sometimes on the same day.
Yeah.
And that's hard for your actors, but it's necessary. But what about for you while you're directing and acting?
I almost died. I've promised my loved ones that I will never act and direct again.
Wow.
Because this was the first time where it was just too much on my body. The thing that was great was I knew everything so well. It was so in my body that it was just the only thing I was ever fighting against was time, like sleep. Like I didn't get any sleep. But with Cha-Cha and Shithouse, I was directing and acting, and it was like easier circumstances. They were still really hard, and still very hard. But I think the hard part about those movies were I didn't really know it. So I was having to find, like in Cha-Cha, I was having to find Andrew while also helping Evan find David, and Leslie find Mom, and Dakota find, and so that was the difficult part. We had enough time, and I had the support. Like Ro was always like that was great. With Helen Harper, it was a crapshoot. Like block shooting 8 episodes of TV is ridiculous. Yeah. Like Mark, the first couple days, Mark was like, he's like, where the fuck are we? where I have no idea where we are. But I knew. So that was the good thing, was I just, for some reason,
you can answer it. Like
I could answer every single question like that. And playing Hal was so easy for me, but the only thing that was hard was I was sleepy. Like Hal wasn't a sleepy person,
right,
with like bags under his eyes.
That's hard.
But so that was the only hard part. It was just the time. I knew everything. I knew when we had things, like, and I think what suffered was like there were times when as a director, when you have enough sleep, you know how to succinctly say what's going to get your actor there. Like, okay, you think about it, and then you go over there and you say, the stakes are higher. And then you go back. And then that usually does it. But when you're tired, you're like, I know that this isn't it. I know that it needs to feel like, I know exactly what it needs to feel like. I know that it's not. Yeah. And I go over and I'm like,
the words aren't coming.
Just like fucking
do it.
You know what I mean? And they're like, no, you didn't say a single word. And that was like a big regret. Is like, if I had just said to Lionsgate, we need $2 more million. Yeah. Because I was so dead set on the way that we set up the show. We had 100% back end, which is like unheard of. Because usually you have 50%, and the other 50%. They had a sales fee, but they had zero back end. And we only got that because it was like, we have 100% back end. And then when we actually did ask for more money, and I can say this, we asked for more money, and they're like, all right, well then we need back end. And we were like, we got this much money without Mark Ruffalo. And then we got Mark Ruffalo. Can you just give us this much more? And they were like, no, but this is the deal. And if you want to, we'll happily give you 2 more, but we need this much more back end. And we should have taken that deal. I wish I did.
It would have been relief
for everyone,
many levels. Yeah.
Because there was that thing where it was like,
it doesn't feel like the show doesn't. I don't know if I would be able to recognize it, but it doesn't feel like the show was compromised.
It wasn't compromised. Like, because we always did. I never moved on. Like, I don't know if that callback, my eyes told the callback, but what I was saying about with Lily where I would go and I knew it wasn't right, and I knew that she wasn't doing her normal thing. With every actor, I just like, with this project more than any other project that I'll ever do, I knew exactly what was needed for each scene. And that meant a lot of scenes, we did 1 or 2 takes, because I was like, that's all we need, and let's go. And they all really trusted that. Every actor was like, okay, we got it. Like no actor ever asked for another take. That said, I also did some scenes where everyone on set could not believe how many takes we were doing. Like, could not even fathom on this budget and how many hours we were working for such little money. He's having us do 12 takes. What is happening? And at some point, you're like, we ended up having to, there were 4 scenes where I did the 12 takes and it still wasn't there. And I was like, we're gonna come back to this. And they were like, but we did. We came back like 2 weeks later. We did like a reshoot for 4 scenes. And I would just over the weekend talk to the actors about like with sleep in me. I was like, I think this is what we were not getting. And we fixed them. And it was great. But that's why I think the show doesn't feel compromised in any way, is because it wasn't. It just was shot in a very scrappy way. And I do think that there are a lot of scenes where the actors are perfect, but I think there are scenes where the operator was like a little like, this is my 12th take. and the whole show's handheld. So it's like, there is that scrappiness to the show, but I also really cared about the scrappiness not feeling like, I think with Shithouse there was a feeling of, oh, I'm a little bit of a fly on the wall here. With Helen Harper, I wanted the opposite. I wanted it to feel scrappy, but I wanted to be that close to you. And I wanted it to feel extremely immersive and almost like, just immediate in a way that I think a lot of indie things can feel scrappy, but also feel like, ooh, I'm lucky to be here, and this is so intimate, and I'm getting like, oh, it's so cringe or whatever you want to say. But with Helen Harper, it's like, no, you're in it. And you might not understand what's happening with Dad right now, but you're really up close with him.
I think that's what people were responding to, don't you think?
I think so, yeah.
Partly that. Tell me about the decision for you guys to play the kids.
It was...
Was this always?
It was always that was the genesis of the show, was that idea. I had it my sophomore year of college. I didn't know why I had the idea. I thought it was funny. My friends did not think it was funny. They were confused about it. But I did a web series in my sophomore year of college where Harper is like smoking a cigarette, and we shot it in my college dorm. And Helen Harper, the whole web series was like, they talked about their days, and the whole like bit of it was that Dad said something that like no dad should say to a 7 and 9-year-old, and that it's showing that they grew up too fast. And then I realized, oh, the show is really about 2 adults stuck in this past. And so yes, they grew up too fast, and you see that visually, but more than anything, it's like you see this 22-year-old senior in college as a 7-year-old. Like it's a dance of, yes, they grew up too fast, but they're also stuck in the past, and they can't quite do they need to release some stuff. But I always knew that it was gonna work and feel right, but I remember having trouble explaining it to people. Like, it was hard for people the instinct when reading it is like, oh, it's kind of weird. And I was like, no, it's not gonna be weird. It's gonna be very accessible. It's gonna be very like, it's gonna feel real. Like, we're not gonna shoot it in like this different way. Like the colors will be different, but the colors are going to feel like more accessible. Like, you're going to want to lean in more. It's not going to be this eternal sunshine of the spotless mind. Like,
Right.
whoa, what's happening here? It's like it's like a therapy device almost. It's therapeutic to like watch them just exist, and kind of I think it's so funny, but I know I've always learned, like with Shithouse, I was like, the scenes that would crack me up, people would be like this, please make it stop. Like, and so with Hal and Harper, I knew it would make me laugh and cry, but other people are just watching it like, what's happening? I know I'm not feeling like, ugh, but I am not sure if I can laugh or if I can, like there's this one line that I'm always, when in screenings, finally we did a screening in Chicago where everyone laughed, but it's the third episode where they're sitting in bed and she's smoking a cigarette and they're like talking about how he's having trouble making friends, and in between like ripping cig, she's like, yeah, first grade's really isolating. And then she says after that, she's like, remember, she looks at Hal and she's like, for the first time, she's like, oh, I need to say something that'll make him feel better. It's like you see the seeds of the codependency start for the very first time. And the way she like tries to make him feel better, she's like, remember how we're old for our grade. Most third graders are 6, not 7. So we're more mature. And I think it's the funniest thing in the world. but people are, I think, calculating like, why is this person showing me this on the screen?
Yeah.
And yeah, so, but to answer your question, it was always...
It makes me think that Chicago is more sophisticated
Well,
than even New York. I mean, that is a sophisticated kind of joke.
Yeah, well, also I think the screening was... We've done screenings at like Tribeca and Sundance, and those screenings are not... I think the Chicago screening was everyone knew my work. Like everyone there was there because I had posted about it on my Instagram, and it was all people who like probably thought Shithouse was a really funny movie. Because there are so many people who... my best friend in the world, who's the executive producer of Hal and Harper, Shithouse is like his favorite movie ever. And he shows it to people, and there are certain people who find it the least funny movie of all time.
Really?
Like it's like so polarizing in that that's not funny. That was like made my insides hurt. Like I couldn't watch it. Like I had to pause it and like fast forward through that sex scene or whatever.
Wow.
But I think there's just different types of knowing that I can laugh at this thing and or even cry. Like they're the same thing sometimes.
Right.
Isn't it the part where you do with the basketball? I mean, the people must really flip out laughing at that.
I've never seen it in the theater with people.
Oh, that's right. It's too
'cause
late in the
too
series.
Late, I think I like...
Let's not ruin it for anyone. I'm just realizing, like, we don't want to...
No, but I like that stuff. I do think that... Because the best part about that stuff is, even if people aren't dying laughing, it is like people are smiling.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's it, because it just, you can just feel the joy of like how funny this concept is.
Yeah.
And there was actually, what was really devastating, and I actually think it's for the best, but I had to cut out this amazing basketball scene where Hal, Harper, and Dad, adult Hal and Harper, and with older Dad, they are like all having this fight. So there's this whole storyline that got cut where Dad comes to LA to like check on his kids, and they're all talking and playing basketball with each other. They're like rebounding, and then this group of 3 guys says like we need the court. And then Hal is like, we'll play you for it. We'll play you for the court. And they're like, all right. And then Hal, Harper, and Dad beat this like trio.
Why does this sound familiar? Are you sure it wasn't in a version that I saw?
Could have been. No, I don't think so.
Why does this sound familiar?
I don't know, but it was this amazing, and we cut it all together, and it was so great, and it was so fun. But I do think it made later on when you see them learn basketball for the first time, it makes it even funnier, but it also, it takes away a little bit from the novelty of basketball in a way that,
It was probably a good choice then, I guess.
I think so.
Yeah.
But it was so badass. It was so, because like Mark Ruffalo's like setting hard screens, and like I'm going backdoor, and Harper's like wedding jumper. It's a really funny.
That's
fun.
for the
It's for the
DVD,
the DVD.
extras.
Yes.
Let's hope that this has a, I'm a DVD guy.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to ask this again now, like I did at the end of the first episode.
Yeah.
What is the game plan now? You've had 3 successful, okay, this hasn't come out yet, but it's going,
Yeah.
right? People love this thing, okay? Mubi's releasing it. I call that a success, right? People are going to love it. This is your 3rd successful thing in a row. You would figure that the Hollywood gates would open for you at this point now, but we know that that's not the way things work.
Right.
You just said it.
Right.
You should start over every time. So what do you do now? Like, what is your approach now? What have you learned from, like, you did what they said you shouldn't do, and you got Mark Ruffalo.
Right.
Do you keep doing stuff like that? You just follow your instincts?
So my game plan is to find the financier or the company or whoever that is going to let me make my next thing. My next thing is, I would describe it as, well, there are 2 things that I'm trying to get made, and one's way bigger, but one's smaller, but I think they're both just have the DNA of Helen Harper. I'm very assured about both of them, and they're very specific, and one's, I think, bigger and more fun, but one is just as, it ends as sad as, or it ends in tears in the way that Helen Harper ends in tears, and it ends, but both are very, very me, and my game plan is to find someone who's going to back that in a way that I can be free of the end. With Helen Harper, I was very much tied into the success of it. So it took a lot out of me when we made it, and all these streamers were like, oh, we can't watch it. I put so much into so much. There were really high stakes for me after making it. And it was hard on me, in my body. And so my goal is to next make something that shares the exact DNA of Helen Harper, but one has enough money that Helen Harper did not have, and one that once I finish it, I can let go and not worry about getting money back. Because that's the thing with Helen Harper, is I put money into that thing. And so I was desperate to have it succeed in a way that I cannot do that anymore. And it's sad, because I want to own the things that I make, but in order to own the things that you make, you have to be really tied to its success. And that is the one thing that I'm taking steps back and deciding it's best for my life and for the people in my life that I don't have it at risk here. And if that means that I have to, I don't know what it'll mean yet.
It might mean you have to do things for less.
Yeah, do things for less, but also it might mean that the crazy part is what it means is I can't be greedy.
Yeah.
Because I think what happened with Cha Cha is the thing that made me take a bunch of steps forward, because Cha Cha sold for a lot of money and I didn't see as much as I should have. And I knew that, and I was like, okay, with Helen Harper, I'm gonna own it. And the universe said, you're getting too greedy. Who cares what you made on Cha Cha? You got to make Cha Cha.
Right.
Who cares what you make on Helen Harper? You got to make Helen Harper. So next thing, I'm just gonna be grateful that I get to make it. And I'm not gonna I'm not gonna stomp my feet when Joe Schmo with the money gets so much money on the back end, and I'm like, you motherfucker, you wanted this character cut, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be grateful that I got to make it, that the universe let me on set, and I'm not going to be tied into, oh, but if I owned it, I could retire, because the thing is, I don't want to retire.
Right.
You know, like
Yes,
I
you
want
wanna
to just keep making things. So that was the thing with Helen Harper, is I thought, oh my gosh, if I'm making a show for half of what a pilot costs, we're gonna sell it in a way that, like, everyone here, we're rolling in it.
Yeah.
And then it fucking did not happen in the slightest. And it was this wake up call of, you got to take 10 steps back and be grateful that you get to make a thing without a Trojan horse. And and you get to do all this. You get to move people with something that you know is going to move them.
Yes.
That's always been what it's about. And so I've just had to kind of come to terms with that.
Yeah. Cooper Raiff, thank you so much. Come
Thank
back
you.
on the show.
I will. Next time.
Back to One is a production of Filmmaker Magazine, which is a publication of The Gotham. Listen to back episodes of this podcast at filmmakermagazine.com or wherever you get your podcasts.